Hey guys, this is Alex from Board Game Co. And this is going to be a different kind of video. Now what I mean by that is I'm going to be doing two things during this video. First of all is I'm going to be sleeving and putting away my recently acquired copy of Aftershock. Secondly is I will probably be coughing a lot because I don't know what I do or do not have, but I think I currently have COVID-19, which is a fun little update from my other video the other day talking about COVID-19. Now, it could be able to get through a spurt without coughing. We'll see how that goes. I find that the more I talk and the more I laugh, the more I cough. Fortunately, the coughing doesn't hurt. It just makes interacting a little harder. Now, I figured I'd do this video because, well, first of all, it's Street Masters. Street Masters is a cool game. This is Tiger Azul over here. Don't know if you'll see that well, but this is Tiger Azul, one of the characters that I'm in the middle of sleeving to put into this giant box over here. But additionally, because I thought it'd be interesting to go over my own symptoms, my own path from my first symptoms to where I am now, what my thought process was, just as a reference point for anyone who does or doesn't have anything or whatnot. As of right now, I cannot get tested, and that's because in Ohio, at least, tests are currently, everywhere. I think tests are hard to get a hold of, and they are not testing anyone unless they have a real strong shortness of breath, like a real difficulty breathing. That's when you can get tested. And or if you're elderly, have other symptoms, other issues, or things that might make you more at risk, then they're testing those people. For myself, as soon as I got my symptoms, I called my doctor. I was told to shelter at home, which I was already doing since Sunday, I think. Since Sunday, I was already sheltering at home. But now I'm sheltering at home even further. There we go. Okay, so how did it start? So Sunday night, I got a fever. Not the craziest thing. I got some fevers before. Started slowly at around 90, 99, and then started around 8 p.m. maybe, and then slowly escalated throughout the day until by the time I went to bed, I was at 102.8, which is not great. And it's definitely one of anything over 100, they already say is a symptom. Doesn't mean it's corona, doesn't mean it's COVID-19, could be anything. But obviously with COVID-19 going around, there's more of a reason to think that it might be. At the time, I also had a wet cough at the time. I had a cough with phlegm. And supposedly that is specifically not a symptom, meaning a dry cough is a symptom, but not a wet cough. And so I thought between the wet cough and between who knows, whatever, I just thought it was probably just a regular flu, nothing, no big deal. I called my doctor just to be safe. He said it could be anything, could be corona, could be not. Thank God, I'm young and healthy, should be safe, stay at home, don't interact, quarantine, all that stuff. Then, Monday was terrible. Chills and aches, and my whole body just felt in pain the entire day. But again, this is standard flu stuff. I've had 24-hour flu before. It hurts, it sucks, you get over it. My fever slowly went down a little bit on Monday, but not significantly. I still capped off the day with like a 102.2 or something. Tuesday morning was when it started to get a little more interesting, because Tuesday morning I woke with a dry cough. And that's sorry. And that is when the second symptom enters the picture. Tuesday morning wasn't the worst, but as the day went on, I'm losing track of time. I think it's Thursday. It's Thursday now. As the day went on, it got worse and worse. And come Wednesday, it got even worse. Wednesday, it went from a little bit of a cough here and there to being unable to function, unable to communicate, to talk. Even if I walk upstairs, any physical exertion triggers my body to want to cough, to have trouble breathing. And that was already when I started to look and wonder what the story is. As of today, I straight up can't. Let me put the sleeved deck over here. This is Tiger Azul, by the way. One of the things about Street Masters, quick intervention for my COVID symptoms, or not COVID symptoms. One of the things I love about Street Masters, and I'm only a few games in so far, is that every character feels so different the way they play. I'm not really into the theme so much. I'm not really into like 90s street fighting game. Never really enjoyed the Street Fighter video game. The theme is not a thing for me at all. But I love how differently each character plays. Like, they really have a unique playing style that's very, very interesting. The stage decks, I haven't really tried different ones, and the enemy decks, I haven't really tried different ones yet, so I can't comment there. I know there definitely were opinions that the stages felt more semantically different than really different, but I don't know if that's a general opinion or just the occasional complaint I've seen here and there. So far, I'm, like I said, a few games in. I'm enjoying it. It scratches that same itch for me that games like Marvel Champions does. Meaning, it's not about the most strategic game ever. It's not the most incredible experience you'll ever have, but it's a fun sequence of setting up a play area, setting up an objective, and just playing cards until you win or lose. I enjoy it. There are decisions to be made. Don't get me wrong. Any game without decisions, I lose interest in almost immediately. You need to have decisions in a game, otherwise it's not interesting. Otherwise, just read a book, watch a movie, do something different. Don't play a game with no decisions. You want meaningful decisions in every game you play. So there is that. That being said, there's also luck. There's also how you roll, what comes out, how the game unfolds. So there's strategy combined with a light, fun experience. I've seen complaints that the game is too hard. I've seen complaints that the game is too easy. I guess these people aren't using the rivals and ally cards specifically designed to make the game harder or easier to match your playstyle. So there is a difficulty modifier built in for those people who are finding it too hard or too easy. I've played it solo a few times so far, and I've played it once with my wife. Both times it's been enjoyable. I think this one more than Legendary, more than Champions, more than Marvel Champions. I think I enjoyed this one a lot more with 2 players than solo. Solo is fun, but there's a lot less strategy in my opinion. There's a lot less meaningful decisions when you only have one character on the board. The second character adds a whole different interplay to how you want to manage the board itself, something that Marvel Champions doesn't have. Marvel Champions doesn't have a board. And so it doesn't have that aspect. But this one, I really enjoy 2 players, I think, a lot more. But I've only had one game with 2 players, so we'll have to see. Plus, I haven't tried other stages or other enemy decks. Lots of things you can do. So this has got the modular deck system, where you combine the fighters you pick, the enemies you fight, and the stage you play on. So there's a ton of variability here. And like, I have a lot of content for this game. There's a lot of variability here. So far, I'm enjoying it. We'll see how it continues to play out. And with that, quick gaming intermission. Back to COVID-19. So, as of today, I cannot do anything meaningful without, well, as of yesterday already, I can't do anything meaningful without coughing significantly, coughing a lot and frequently, and just having a hard time not breathing. If I had a hard time breathing, I would not be doing a YouTube video. I would be calling the emergency room and figuring something out there. Thankfully, I have no problem breathing, and even the cough doesn't hurt. It just prevents me from talking and from being too whatever. I mean, I'll take the cough over the fever, honestly. The fever was really racking my body with aches and pains and everything. Anyways, so one other thing worth mentioning, my wife has a lack of a sense of smell, which, if you don't know yet, is considered to be one of the early indicators of asymptomatic people. I mean, I guess technically it is a symptom, but they're starting to identify a lot of symptoms that they previously considered to be asymptomatic individuals. Those symptoms range anything from like diarrhea to a lack of sense or of taste or smell. There's a bunch of asymptomatic things that you should look into these things. It's not a time to become a self-diagnosing doctor and panic about everything, but look at the signs, figure out what you need to know. I mean, the combination of my symptoms plus my wife having a lack of a sense of smell is definitely, plus the timeline, and the timeline's a big one here, because COVID-19 does not follow any strict path the entire way through at all. It varies completely. But one of the common path it does take, meaning even though it differs in what it does, there is a degree of commonality. And one of the commonalities is you get a fever combined with shortness of breath and or coughing within 5 days. And then within 8 days, you get the worst of that, which I'm wondering if I'm currently experiencing or will experience. Meaning, obviously, I'm not the worst compared to the general worst. There are people who have issues or conditions that will make this significantly worse. But in my case, I'm wondering if my worst is currently happening or is yet to come. Because while it's livable right now, it's not fun. It's definitely not fun. I'll get to that part soon, like my own feelings or whatnot. But either way, so within 8 days is supposed to be the worst of it. And then from there, at that point, you kind of are going to figure out somewhere along that path whether you are someone who does not need hospitalization, which the vast majority do not, or whether you are someone who will need to go to the hospital. In terms of that vast majority, I believe the numbers, if I recall correctly, and don't quote me on this, look at this data, this is my recollection. If I recall correctly, for the general population as a whole, 80% of the population will not need any sort of medical intervention. But that is the population as a whole, factoring in everyone who has conditions or pneumonia or older, whatever issues you have. For someone like myself who's much younger, that ratio, much younger, and have no issues whatsoever. Thank God I have no significant issues to my health other than this right now. So for someone like myself, that ratio is significantly higher, meaning a vast majority of people like myself with my age and lack of conditions will not need any sort of medical intervention, but we'll just get through this. That being said, even amongst people like myself, my age, even amongst young, invincible people, there will be exceptions. There will be people who will need hospitalization, and sadly, there will be people who die too. This is a statistics game to an extent, and as everyone is saying, you have to be careful not just for yourself and your own statistics, but for the statistics of those you're going to interact with. My wife's parents, who live around the corner from us, are no longer dropping by as of Sunday because of my fever. We're minimizing interactions to keep them safe. It's not just about ourselves, it's about everyone, both friends, family, and honestly complete strangers. At this point, this is a worldwide disease with a worldwide impact, and we should treat it with that level of seriousness. As far as how I feel, as far as what are you in for if you get COVID-19, and again, I don't know I have COVID-19. I can just say I'm following some of the clear pathways of the symptoms people will have. So I could have it, could not, can't get tested, so don't know. But as far as what it feels like, it sucks. I've had 24-hour flu before, and 24-hour flu in the past, it generally sucked, but it lasts 24 hours. That's the redeeming quality. This 24-hour flu lasted already 48 hours, so I already had a 2-day version of the 24-hour flu, combined with a cough that's getting worse and worse and making it harder. Again, the cough doesn't hurt, but my body in general hurts. My body's been fighting this, obviously, and it's just exhausted. So I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I have aches, chills, pains. This is not fun, but there's a balancing factor. So for instance, I debated whether to do this YouTube video because I was debating staying in bed all day today. I was debating staying in bed all day today, but I can't be bothered to because it's just so mind-numbingly boring. So I decided to get up, do simple things like right now, just sleeving a few thousand cards. I figure sleeving a few thousand cards is the appropriate level of exertion that I'm willing to put my body through right now, while also not staring at a wall or just watching TV all day. Like that, I have a hard time doing that unless I really, really can't move. So it hurts, it sucks, it's not pleasant. But at least as of right now, at least as of where I am in the phase, it just kind of sucks. That's where it just kind of sucks. It's not the end of the world. But again, going back to what I said, just because it's not the end of the world for me does not mean you should take it with any degree of casualness. I'm just saying both things are true. Don't panic. Most people will be fine. Take it seriously so that as many people as possible will be fine. Both those things are as true as possible. Again, I'm going to say it again because it's that important. Don't panic. Everything should be fine. Be as safe and conservative as possible so that as many people as possible will be fine. Those are both true. Statistics are a horrifying thing. I mean, even like, again, people like myself, 0.2% death rate, I think for someone in my age range and health, that's small. But the problem is with the amount of people that this thing is affecting, 0.2% is still someone's husband, mother, father, daughter. This is still there will still be deaths in that 0.2% death rate. That is a big, big number, and it's not one to be taken seriously. It means you shouldn't panic on an individual level, but you should not panic. You should be cautious because of the nature of statistics and large sample sizes of people. That's basically it. I just figured I'm gonna, again, sleeving, talking about Street Masters a bit. By the way, this game is 5 months overdue. More than that, I think it's supposed to come in October. So yeah, I guess 5 months overdue. But at least it came now. Showed up on Monday, which means I can enjoy my quarantine playing another new solo game. So there is silver linings to things. As far as other videos, because of the fact that I produce a lot of my videos, you know, a few days in advance or sometimes a week in advance or whatever it is, it might be a little weird to see tomorrow's video or whichever order these things come out. It might be a little unusual to see some of these videos coming out in which I'm talking completely normally, completely healthy, no coughing, no whatever, and it's probably because I filmed that video before this one. So if you see me Like I think yesterday's video, which again I don't know where in the cycle that will end up. I think I had a cough candy in my mouth the whole time to try to prevent the coughing, and that worked to an extent. But I had a candy in my mouth the whole video, and that's because I didn't want to cough doing a video. It seems unprofessional to an extent, unless of course you're using the video as an attempt to talk about COVID-19, to talk about your symptoms, to simultaneously caution and calm with the same content. So I will probably continue doing videos as long as it's not negatively impactful to my health or to those around me. It keeps me busy, keeps me entertained, hopefully keeps you entertained, not the coughing bit, but the rest of it, and or informed. Educated, informed, entertained. I enjoy the process, and as long as it's not bad for my health, I will continue doing it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm just going to continue sleeving cards, but I don't think you want to watch that for the next 3 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a day on this one. Again, I'll continue doing videos for now. It will, if it does slow down, if I don't do everyday videos, that might be possible. The talking thing is interesting, but I hope you enjoyed this video. You can subscribe, like, this is me taking advantage of my COVID-19 for views and subscribe. So if you feel bad for me, subscribe to this video. Please do. It helps. It really does. That being said, I already regret that. Have a good one. Enjoy. Be well. Be healthy. Stay safe. Interesting times we live in. Simultaneously very scary. Also, like I said in my other video, also very heartwarming to see the good that's coming out of it. But be safe, be well, and until next time, have a good one.